Hi again. I'd like to talk more about Swift and play around with the playground a little bit more. And today I'd like to talk about using control statements like if and for. Okay. I'm going to start here in Xcode and open up a new playground. And I'll say if playground, and I'll save it into my folder here. And if statements allow you to make decisions in your program. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an array here called temp, right? Imagine this is the temperature, and you're trying to create an app that displays the weather, and you want to display a different picture or a different color maybe in the background depending on what the temperature is. Okay, so let's imagine the temperature is 40 degrees. Okay. So, I'm going to set var temp equal to 40. And then here I'm going to say if, and then I can say temp equals 40, and then the curly brackets. And what's going to happen here is the double equal sign stands for comparison equal. And the if statement is saying like, hey, let's look at this statement here, right? So we're saying if, and then we're going to look at this statement. And if this statement evaluates to true, then we're going to do the code or execute the code that's in the code block here determined by the curly braces. Okay? In JavaScript, this looks the same. You need to put the parentheses here. In Swift, you don't use the parentheses. You're not required to include those. So we can leave those out. Okay? You can put them in there too. If you like. Swift doesn't really care about that, but you can leave them out. So I'm going to leave them out there. It's a little more clear to read. So notice that the double equal sign, right? So the single equal sign stands for assignment. In other words, we're assigning a value here. So we're saying temp will equal 40. Temp will, be assigned the value 40. And down here, I'm saying like, does temp equal 40? So the double equal sign is comparison. So I'm saying like, hey, is the value stored in this variable equal to the value on the right side? And if they are equal, execute the code in the code block. Okay, and we can print something out to the window here with the function called printLn or println. Okay, so I'll say cold. Okay, and now you can see that it prints the word cold. If the temperature here was 60 degrees, then you can see it doesn't print the word cold because the temperature is not equal to 40. Okay, let's imagine what if I put the temperature here and I set the temperature to 39. Well, 39 is not equal to 40, but it's still cold in my opinion. So it should say cold here. So I used the equal sign. Let's do another one. I'm going to say temp is less than 40. Okay, and then I'll say print, cold with an exclamation mark, and then you can see it says cold here. So this says, hey, if the value stored in temp is less than the value on the right side, then do the code in the code block here. Okay, so I still consider 40 degrees to be cold. And in this case, if the value here was 40, then the second one is not going to print cold because temperature 40 is not less than 40. It's equal to. And you're allowed to put the equal sign here. Oops, I put that on the wrong side there. So we can combine the two and we can say like, hey, if we're less than or equal to 40, then print cold. Okay, so any value 40 and below, like 33, would also print cold on the second example there. Okay, and there's a couple other symbols here. Let's try a few. So this time I'm going to say if temperature is greater than 70, then we'll print and we'll say warm. Okay, and so in this case, the temperature is 33 degrees, and so that's not warm, so it doesn't print anything. But if I change the temperature here to 73, well, that's pretty warm. So now it prints warm here because, temperature is greater than 70. And you can put the equal sign there. I did it on the wrong side again. So if in this case, if the temperature was 70 or greater, then we're going to print warm. So in this case, 70 would also print warm. Okay? So there's a quick introduction to if statements and some of the operators like double equal, less than, greater than, and less than equal and greater than equal. Okay?